The hidden signals women use to test you. Her behavior changes. Not in a loud way. Not in a way you can easily explain. Just slightly. And somehow, that slight change is enough. Enough to make you pause. Enough to make you notice. Enough to make you start thinking. The replies are still there, but not the same. The energy is still there, but it feels different. And now your mind starts moving. You don't even try to overthink. It just happens. What changed? Did I do something wrong? Is she losing interest? And the more you think about it, the more your behavior starts to shift. You become more aware of what you say, more careful with how you say it, more focused on how she responds. And slowly, without even realizing it, you stop being natural. You start managing the interaction. Try to maintain it. Try to control it. Try to keep it from slipping. But here's the truth most men never fully understand. Those small changes you notice, they're not always problems. They're not always signs of disinterest. Sometimes, there are moments where your mindset is being revealed. Because when everything is easy, there is no pressure. And when there is no pressure, anyone can look confident. Anyone can seem relaxed. Anyone can appear in control. But the moment something changes, that's when your real habits come out. The shift from natural to reactive. At the beginning, you're free. You're not thinking about outcomes. You're not worried about losing anything. You're just responding. You say what comes to your mind. You don't measure every word. You don't replay conversations in your head. And because of that, you feel light. You feel natural. But as soon as you start to care more, everything changes. Now there's something to lose. Now there's something you want to maintain. And that creates pressure. Not external pressure. Internal pressure. Pressure to say the right thing. Pressure to keep the energy going. Pressure to avoid mistakes. And once that pressure is there, your behavior begins to shift. You start watching her more closely. You notice small details. You track her responses. You analyze her tone. And slowly, your attention moves away from yourself and locks onto her. And that's where most people lose their balance. The delayed reply. Let's slow this down completely. You send a message. Before, everything was smooth. Replies came easily. There was flow. There was rhythm. Then suddenly, there's a delay. At first, it doesn't mean much. But time passes, and your awareness increases. You check your phone. Nothing. You wait a little longer. Still nothing. And now your thoughts start building. Maybe she's busy, but she wasn't busy before. Maybe I said too much. Or maybe I said too little. Now notice what's happening. Nothing has actually happened yet. There is no confirmed problem. But your mind has already created one. And once your mind creates that problem, your body responds to it. You feel slightly uncomfortable, slightly restless, slightly unsettled. And now, you want to fix that feeling. So what do most men do? They send another message. Not because they have something meaningful to say, but because they want to relieve that discomfort. They want reassurance. They want control. They want the situation to feel stable again. But that action reveals something. It shows that your emotional state is tied to her response. And that changes how you show up. Now, compare that to someone who is grounded. He sends the message, and then he moves on. Not because he's pretending not to care, but because his life is not centered around that moment. He has things to do. He has focus. He has direction. So the delay doesn't control him. And that difference is not small. It's everything. The challenge. Now imagine you're in a conversation. Everything feels smooth. Then she says something unexpected. I don't think you're right about that. Or she teases you. You're trying too hard. Now there's a shift. A slight pressure. A moment where your reaction matters. Most men react immediately. They feel the need to respond quickly. To correct the situation. To explain themselves. To prove something. Because internally, it feels like a challenge to their identity. But what's actually being revealed here is your emotional control. Do you need to defend yourself? Do you feel uncomfortable being challenged? Do you feel the need to win? Or can you stay relaxed? Can you smile? Can you respond without tension? Because someone who is grounded doesn't feel threatened by disagreement. They don't rush to explain. They don't overcompensate. They remain steady. And that steadiness carries weight. The pull away. Now let's go deeper into the situation that affects most people. Things are going well. There's consistency. There's engagement. There's momentum. Then suddenly, that momentum drops. She becomes less responsive, less engaged, less present. And this is where most people lose control. Because now, the situation feels uncertain. And uncertainty creates discomfort. That discomfort leads to action. You want to fix it. You want to bring things back. You want to restore what was there. So you start doing more. More messages. More effort. More attention. But here's the problem. The more you try to fix it, the more you reveal that you are reacting. And once you start reacting, you lose stability. And when stability is gone, attraction weakens. But someone who understands this moves differently. He notices the change, but he doesn't chase it. He doesn't try to force things back. He doesn't increase effort. He stays consistent. And that consistency creates something powerful. Because now, his behavior is not controlled by the situation. Mixed signals. One day she's fully engaged. The next day, she's distant. Then she's back again. This pattern pulls your attention. Because your mind wants clarity. It wants something stable. It wants something predictable. So when that's missing, you start trying to create it. You analyze everything. You replay conversations. You look for hidden meaning. But in doing that, you lose your center. Because now your behavior is reacting to every shift, instead of coming from a stable place. And that's the real issue. Not the mixed signals, but your reaction to them. Consistency is the difference. At the beginning, you were natural. You didn't try. You didn't think too much. But as soon as you became invested, you changed. You became more reactive, more focused, more dependent on outcomes. And that shift is what affects everything. Because attraction grows in stability, not in effort, not in intensity, but in consistency, being the same person over time, not adjusting based on how things feel in the moment. At the end of the day, these situations are not the problem. They're just moments that reveal your patterns, your habits, your mindset. Because when things are easy, you don't see those patterns. But when things become uncertain, they show themselves clearly. And that's where the difference is made. Not in what happens, but in how you respond. Because you can't control her behavior. You can't control timing. You can't control outcomes. But you can control your reaction, your mindset, your consistency. And when those things stay stable, everything changes. You stop overthinking. You stop reacting. You stop chasing. And instead, you move with calmness, with clarity, with control. And that is what truly stands out. Not what you say, but how you remain when things are uncertain.
Follow for more if you want to understand women better.